Imagine boarding a flight in the year 1955. The engines roar, the wheels lift off, and the plane vanishes from the sky. No explosion, no distress call, no wreckage. For 35 years, this flight is officially declared lost forever. But then, one ordinary day in 1990, air traffic controllers hear something impossible. This is Flight 914, requesting permission to land, a flight number that should not exist. And what happened after it landed left pilots, scientists, and governments speechless. This is not fiction. This is the mystery of Flight 914. On July 2, 1955, Pan American Flight 914 took off from New York, heading toward Miami, Florida. On board were 57 passengers and 4 crew members, men in suits, women in dresses, children clutching toys. A normal flight, a normal day. About 1 hour after takeoff, radar contact was suddenly lost. Controllers tried calling. No response. At first, they assumed a temporary signal failure, but minutes turned into hours. Hours turned into days. Search missions were launched across the Atlantic and Caribbean. Planes, ships, radar scans, nothing. Not a single piece of wreckage was ever found. Eventually, the airline declared Flight 914 officially lost. Names were carved into memorials. The world moved on, but the flight did not. Fast forward to 1990. At Caracas Airport, Venezuela, air traffic controllers were managing routine landings when their radar picked up an unidentified aircraft. The plane looked old, outdated design, no modern transponder. Controllers contacted the pilot, and then came the words that froze the room. "We are Pan Am Flight 914 from New York to Miami." That flight number had been retired for decades. Controllers assumed it was a joke until the pilot asked, "Where are we? We should have landed 30 minutes ago." The date was given. The pilot panicked. According to reports, the captain looked at the control tower calendar and his face turned pale. He reportedly whispered, "That's impossible." The landing, fear and confusion. The aircraft was allowed to land. When the wheels touched the runway, airport staff noticed something terrifying. The plane design matched 1950s aircraft. The paint was faded. The engines sounded ancient. The cockpit instruments were outdated. Passengers looked confused, not aged, not tired, just lost. For them, only hours had passed. But for the world, 35 years were gone. When officials tried to approach, the pilot became anxious. According to legend, he quickly closed the cockpit window and shouted, "We need to leave immediately!" Moments later, the plane took off again and disappeared. For the second time, this time, forever. Experts proposed several theories. Theory 1, time slip or time distortion. Some physicists believe the plane may have entered a time anomaly, a pocket where time flows differently. Similar effects have been reported in the Bermuda Triangle, where compasses fail and clocks malfunction. Could Flight 914 have flown through a temporal tunnel, skipping decades like seconds? No proof, but no explanation either. Theory 2, electromagnetic storm. Another theory suggests the aircraft encountered an intense electromagnetic field, disrupting navigation systems and perception. But this still fails to explain how a plane could physically survive 35 years without fuel, wear, or aging. Think about the passengers. Families who cried for decades. Children declared dead before adulthood. Loved ones who moved on, remarried, grew old. What if they really returned to a world that no longer remembered them? Final question. Was Flight 914 a myth, or a warning that time is not as stable as we believe? Science has no final answer. Governments remain silent, and the sky keeps its secrets. If time can bend, if reality can glitch, then how many other stories were dismissed as impossible? And if Flight 914 really exists, the question is not where it went. The question is, will it ever come back again?